what we need to do today is understand and recognize two things. Number one, the banking sector is wounded, and the banking sector is not sufficiently capitalized today to replace all of the debt that's necessary to recapitalize all the commercial real estate out there. Their balance sheets can't handle it. There isn't enough money there. So the only way that you're going to have sufficient liquidity for real estate debt is to get the public debt markets back involved. That's thing number one we have to recognize. Thing number two we have to recognize is that the form of CMBS, form of syndicated debt paper that we've got out there right now doesn't work. I just don't think we're going to see a large-scale return to this sort of system, these sorts of deals, when it's so obvious what the challenges are. So I think what the opportunity today is for a group of interested professionals, lawyers, accountants, mortgage brokers, mortgage bankers, tax folks, people from the government, people from the IRS, people from the House and Senate Finance Committees, to come together and figure out what is the new CMBS market, or whatever alphabet soup we give it next time. What's that product going to look like? And it'll have its own warts, and it'll take a down cycle to see what those warts are. But the fact is, we know what the warts are for the current system, and I think it would behoove all of us to proactively address those things. For example, under the Rudnick rules, which are the tax regime that govern how the CMBS deals can be set up. That's why these deals are so limited in terms of what you can do once there's a default. The inability to modify those loans, the inability to reset maturity dates, to bifurcate the debt, whatever it is. There's presumably a tax goal policy associated with why those rules are as they are, but that gets in the way, and maybe we can figure out a way to be true to whatever that policy goal is. And frankly, I don't know what the policy goal is, but presumably there is one. Be true to that policy goal on the one hand, and then at the same time provide the necessary flexibility. That's one example. Another example is to create an environment in which the servicers not only have the authority to do things, but aren't scared to death to do things. As a servicer, the biggest concern that you've got is not necessarily how to maximize value, although that's your charge. But in the end, you're a corporate entity, and the last thing you want to do is end up in a lawsuit because of the decisions you're making. And sometimes the right decision involves a little bit of guts and a little bit of risk, and assuming that there's some reasonableness to what they're doing, the servicers ought to be able to make some decisions, to have some flexibility. I think there's a real opportunity here to learn from the mistakes that we've all made. Shame on all of us for taking advantage of this great paper that turns out to have some real warts with it. But let's figure out what to do next and how to make it a better product. And the fact is, the sooner we do that, the sooner we're going to have an impact on opening up the debt markets. Because until there's something for the public debt markets to invest in, there's no way for that cash to make its way into real estate debt.